AU stuff or the canonical stuff here?
Who likes AU fix better than canon? Canon fix.
I
Like,
Can I have it?
not that
Yes.
it's a bad thing.
And canonical stuff?
Canon versus.
Well, the thing is, I mean, with tone, like setting the tone, it doesn't really matter. You just got to know, you know, the basics. Yeah.
And one thing that really gets me, one thing that really gets me about people who say that is so out of character is that one person's out of character is another person's spot on. Because nobody sees it the same way, and we all interpret things differently. And there are some things that, yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody would agree, or that's just really not something Dean would do, like saying "I love you" to anybody right now.
Although some people
Right now.
as president, through the tone for him to be able to say "I love you."
Yeah. So I have a very wide view of what's out of character, or maybe I have a very negative view of what's out of character. Because
It's personal to everyone what's out of character and what's not.
And it really, I mean, it depends on what the fic is, too, and where he's at in the fic. And for me, the most jarring tone breach is when there's zero payoff. So, say you're writing a fic and you put all these, like, hints in there, and then it doesn't go anywhere. Or the ending is totally, you know, like it's a fluffy, happy 75% of the thing, and then at the end somebody dies, like, randomly. Like,
Just inconsistency in general, really annoying.
I feel like the best way to deal with that, though, is to just know the ending, like, maybe not exactly what's going to happen, but have an idea of where you want to end the story when you go to start it, and just have that in the back of your mind. And I feel like subconsciously that will help keep the same tone the whole way through, because you'll develop sort of this why do I want one of the characters to die or whatever. So you'll have sort of this dark music the whole time, undertones throughout the whole thing. And then when it happens, yeah, you want it to be a surprise, but you don't want it to be surprising angry. You want it to be, you know, okay, well, that I didn't see that coming, but I can see now that I should have seen that coming.
I can see how it got there.
Yeah.
And your ending needs to make sense.
Because nothing's worse than when you're just kind of like going along, you start, you have no idea where you're going to end up, and you're like halfway through the fic, you're like, oh no, I just realized I totally want something horrible to happen to one of the characters, but it's not really going to fit in, and then it just comes out of nowhere, and everybody's like, well, what the hell was that?
You gotta go back and add some foreshadowing at that point.
You do, otherwise people are just like, well, what was that all about? You know?
And I read a lot of short fiction, and it's a lot easier in short fiction to set the tone, because you just grab an emotion and you hold on to it the whole way through, and it can be consistent. I mean, it has to have conflict, of course, but it can be a consistent emotion. Like, I just find one song, you know, that brings an emotion out of me, and then I just have it on repeat while I write the scene. But for longer fic, it's a lot more difficult. Things that span days. You really have to remember what you're doing. Take a lot of notes.
I've read some fics where it's going down one tone, and then at the very end, someone dies dramatically, and it doesn't fit in, and it kind of seems like the author really just wanted to make a statement, be remembered or something, and that isn't exactly the way to go all the time.
Because then you'll just be remembered for being that one crappy author that just didn't know what the hell they were doing.
Or you had that one fanfic that was really... Doesn't mean you're a bad writer, it just... we all have those. So.
Ones where you kind of lose track of what you were doing and everything.
Yeah. So I know you guys want to talk about, and I was really interested when you guys wanted to talk about how secondary characters affect the tone.
Oh, we got so many notes on secondary characters. It was ridiculous.
So, like, I really want to hear about that, because when I think tone, I think pacing and I think structure. So I'm really curious about what you think about the secondary characters affecting the tone. Like, is it Sam?
Well, Sam is like half of it.
I've
Is it
got
like
like 4
shipper
pages
Sam?
worth of notes of secondary characters and how they affect.
Yeah, she literally has like 20 pages of like just character notes on that. No, but just, I mean, usually he's the only one that really seems to have, apart from Bobby, it seems like he's the only one that ever really doubts how their relationship is going. I think because he wants to protect the two people most important to him. So he's like, well, what if something bad happens? What if you're not ready for this? What if they kind of like get into it and then it all just kind of crumbles apart? And I mean, Dean kind of goes to him a lot like, well, I can't get into this relationship because I've got to look after Sam. I got to look after Sam. And there will be a lot of times when Sam will be like, no, dude, I'm fine with it. Totally, just go for it. And he's still like, I don't know.
So Sam would be the catalyst.
He kind of is sometimes, and I've noticed in a lot of canon fic anyway, that if he isn't even there, then
You'll get one here in just a second.
if he isn't even there in the fic, Dean is a lot more likely to just go for it. Like, I don't even care. I'm gonna go for Cass. He's right there, you know.
I think in a lot of AUs, though, Sam is one of the main reasons that they get together. I think that's one of the big differences. Sam in AUs is always the, yeah, go for it. He's the shipper that's like, hey, you and Cass. He may not outright say it, but he always, and I think I've read one AU where Sam was kind of against their relationship. It just kind of felt kind of weird. But Sam's always been the one that's, hey, you should go for it, and it helps affect me positively in how he views his relationship with Cass.
Yeah, like I was saying, I think Bobby is the one who kind of affects it second most on a familiar level, because he's generally the one who has been around the longest. You know, his whole deal with his wife has kind of put him in this mode where he's like, dude, if you have an option, romance, then you should probably go with it, because you're not really going to get that option again. It's going to slip away from you, you know? I mean, if he isn't in the story at all, like if he's already dead or something, then that's a whole other can of worms. Then Dean will kind of be a mess. But in general, the mood is just really a lot darker if he's there. And once again, in canon-verse stuff, I mean, he'll sometimes approach Dean like, "What are you doing? Just stop being an idiot. Get with this ass but he's obviously in love with you." But he's the only other one who seems to harbor any doubts about them being together. But that's just because he doesn't spend as much time around the two of them as Sam does. You know, just kind of clustered around watching this tension build up between them and being this awkward little sandwich in between where it's like, guys, I'm still in the room. Leave.
Can I go now?
Let's leave it alone.
Generally what I've noticed in fics is, especially AUs, is when you have, you either have Bobby or John Winchester as the fatherly figure, and it depends entirely on whether John is dead already in that verse, how Dean's mental state is, and how better it is, because I'm not a John hater, but a lot of when he is in fics, it's more of the Dean is not having the best relationship with him, and that affects his mental state and how he feels about himself. And when John is gone, we have Bobby instead that plays the father role in Dean's life. He feels more accepting about himself. Generally, what it is.
This isn't too
We brought our Mary on.
It's very considerate. Yeah, just affecting more into that thing I've noticed. Well, this is kind of bouncing back and forth between the John and Bobby thing, but generally, if Bobby is not in the story, I've noticed, like, if he's dead, then Dean has to step up into that father role, which then bumps Sam up to Dean's role, kind of, which is something else, but then he'll kind of be in this position where he's like, oh, now I need to be responsible, especially if Kevin is there. The stuff all bleeds into itself. It's horrible. But, you know, he'll generally be like, well, I need to be responsible. I need to do what's best for the whole group.